Hi, I'm Vanessa and welcome to my sewing room. Today I have a little spring fever and I saw my favorite patterns is on sale this week for $3.50. So I decided to take the Trendsetter pattern and make it woven with help from Boho Fabrics. We're going to add a nice beautiful floral overlay to a black skirt and I'm going to walk you through all the details. Let's get started. While I'm cutting the chiffon and poplin, let's talk about Ellie and Mac's weekly sales. 6 different patterns for $3.50 each. This is such an amazing deal considering that you get Ellie and Mac's patterns, projector files, and top-notch instructions. Now here's where things get different. Instead of using knit fabric, this is woven. So I'm going to make sure that my waistband is the same length as the top of my pattern. So for my size on the fold, it's 11 inches. So for the front, it's going to be 22 inches as well as the back. Now deciding on the width is first, you got to decide what elastic you're going to use. So for a 1-inch elastic, you need to double that plus double your seam allowance. So a 1-inch elastic will be 2 6/8 or 3/4 of an inch. So remember to cut 2. Once you sew these together, this will become the casing for the elastic on the top of your skirt. Now I'm cutting out my elastic right now as well. I measured my high hip and I'm going to do 90% of that measurement. So now I'm serging the sides of my skirt together. This is because chiffon and poplin can kind of unravel pretty easily. And then I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and sew a normal stitch. With this being a knit pattern, the seam allowance is just not as wide as with a woven. So this is a way to keep it close as well as secure. And we're going to put our overlay over our lining. And then I'm going to pin on the waistband. And then from there, we just have to add the elastic. What I love about this is it's a beautiful gathered skirt that you don't have to gather. So I like to baste my overlay to my lining skirt just so it doesn't fray before I add on my waistband. So I'm going to clip on my waistband to my skirt. I like to start at the side seams and then go into the middle. Now this skirt is going to be so cute, and with it being chiffon, I cannot imagine how much I saved sewing it for myself. I love making these skirts that look so nice and save so much money. So I'm going to just stitch on the waistband right here and remembering to leave an opening for my elastic. Later I'll come through and sew it closed as well as serge all the edges. So now I'm putting my elastic through my casing, and of course I've lost every single tool to do this when I'm looking for it. So luckily I have lots of safety pins and they work perfectly every single time. So here I go. So the casing fits perfectly, this 1-inch elastic, and that's one of the reasons why this makes it so worth doing in woven. Now to secure my elastic, I like to do a square and then put an X inside to make sure that it's extra secure. We don't want to have just one stitch on this. You want to have multiple in a couple different directions because you never want your elastic to come undone. So before you get finished, always try on your sew and do a fit test. And if there's anything you don't like, you can fix it. I didn't like the black fabric being a full liner. I thought it took away from the flowiness of the chiffon, and luckily when you sew your clothes, you can make those changes. So I marked where I would like it to be cut at, and then I used my quilting square and I cut straight across both the front and the back of my skirt. This is going to make it a lot breezier, perfect for those hot summer days that we get here. How many times have you bought RTW and wished that you could change something? That's what's so great about sewing your own clothes. Now I'm just serging the bottom of my lining skirt. So I'm preparing to do a rolled hem, so I'm going to move my lever down. On my other serger, I need to actually remove the stitch finger, but I'm cutting the left thread. You can remove the needle if you like to, and then move the stitches closer, and then always test on a strip of fabric. As you can see, it makes the perfect rolled hem on this chiffon fabric. It's such an easy way to hem, and I just love the look of this. It maintains the flowiness of the skirt as well as giving a fun black detail to the very bottom. You can use these same tips to just do a regular woven skirt with the Trendsetter pattern. All right, I'm done. I'm so excited. What do you think? This skirt is so comfortable. It's also really breezy. It's gonna be perfect for those hot summer months. I know this is gonna be a closet staple. So if you happen to have the Trendsetter or just purchased it, make sure you give this woven hack a try. Oh, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for watching. A like and subscribe would be so lovely. Thank you.